Hello everyone and welcome to our FPL Gameweek 14 preview show. I'm Chris and Kieran's here too. Hello.
You're right. Short turnaround. How's it going?
I know, it is a really short turnaround. It was crazy this morning. I woke up and there was a tweet saying press conference times on a Monday. I love it. I love it. Right, well let's get into it. Obviously the deadline is like 24 hours away, so in tonight's show we're just going to take a quick look back at how Kieran's smashing it, but still a little bit unhappy.
Yep.
And
could have been better. Yeah.
we're going to talk about that, and then just go through each of the fixtures and wrap up with our team. So let's do it quickly. Tell me why you're unhappy sitting at 90 points and 28k overall.
Amarim, annoyingly. I could have been, an easy 6-pointer for just 4 minutes longer for Mazraoui to just stay on the pitch. What can you do, I guess? People seem to think Delo might lose his place soon, so maybe I won't have that much regret in doing that eventually, but or going for Mazraoui instead of him. But so that could have got me into the top 20k. I got 90 points. What is it, 27k overall now, so up from about 56 I think it was.
It's a huge Gabriel arrow. It's a huge one,
of course, but it could have been even better because just 4 minutes to just like the clean sheet was there, and just it's just so annoying, isn't it? The Gabriel points was good. Hopefully his knock is something
minimal,
that isn't going to keep continuing, because apparently it was a continuation of the niggle or / knock he had from the Champions League game that put him off at halftime, not a concussion sub. So got to keep an eye on that, I guess. Salah coming in, obviously clutch in the end. I had Saka. I was talking about Saka in our chat. I was on Saka captaincy for pretty much all the week.
And you tweeted about it as well.
And I just
any reason not to.
Yeah, and then I just ended up going back on to Salah just because EO sort of purposes, effective ownership purposes, that Saka just owning him was probably enough to get a good green, and it was the case. But obviously could have captained him as well, and Mazraoui, that those points could have come in, and it could have been even bigger. It could have been like 15k, 10k maybe. If
you were probably disappointed that United scored 2 more goals as well, because Bruno did he get knocked out of bonus because of that?
He did, and went off for 65 minutes. I assume that was just because of all the fixtures coming. I assume he's going to start them all. Unfortunate. Like, he probably could have got some more if he stayed on the pitch, but all good in the end. 9 points from him is decent enough. Palmer obviously with the last minute goal from him. Vissa coming in clutch, because most sort of most well-owned sort of strikers didn't really do much this week.
No.
So Pedro, Isak annoying me, really, like very much annoying me. He may be part of a transfer out. Overall a decent week, obviously. Keep going up with the greens and can't complain at the moment. But my team on paper this week looks a bit rough. So we'll see how it goes this week.
Nice. Yeah, all looking good. Well, I'm pleased as well because I got 91 points. So look at us.
Yeah.
I'm like respectable now. I've gone from like 4 million to 800k in 4 weeks, and the Palmer captaincy came in. Was a bit worried because I was out and looking for just checking for notifications every so often, and I knew it must have been about 75th minute, and he was just at that point on an assist, and I was thinking, this is it now, because Salah has been so good. I wasn't like that surprised he returned. I just thought Palmer would outscore him, and the fact that it came down to just bonus, it was a little bit squeaky bum time. But the reason I had a good week, I think, was my Forest players who I kept hold of came in. Wood obviously got his customary goal and automatic bonus, which was great. And Milenkovic, even though he's not been like any assists or bonus, he's just been steady. And I think other than that, we had generally similar players. I was irritated with Isak. Dean came in because Greaves is mysteriously still not in that Ipswich squad, even though he's fit. So team was all right, really, and another big green arrow, and onto this week. So, we thought what we do for tonight's show is we're just going to have a look at the fixtures. If I get them up on screen now, and we're just going to chat through them, because it's difficult to make too much of a plan with just like a quick turnaround. So we're starting tomorrow. Ipswich against Palace. I think my big question on this one is Greaves going to get back in the team, which is probably very unexciting, but he's like the 4 million defender, which a lot of people went to. And it just seems strange that he's been back in training, yet he's been left out of the squad for the last 2 games against Man United and Forest. So I think if you still own Greaves, we might get a team leak on this one, but yeah, looks like he's a transfer out because he might have lost his place.
So he's not even been in the squad.
He's not been in the squad. Right? Yeah. So on.
God, I didn't know that. Okay.
Yeah. So on Friday, McKenna, because I'm looking out for Greaves news, and he's well owned. He's like I think he's one of the highest owned 4 million defenders. But yeah, on Friday, McKenna said he was fine, and he didn't. Then after the game, he said he didn't make the squad for tactical reasons. So yeah.
Okay.
And on the Palace front, I think they probably should have walloped Newcastle in that game. Do you think?
Yeah, they looked quite good, didn't they? Yeah. Sarr had a good few chances and should have done better on a few, but yeah.
And Munoz had like loads of chances as well, and
yes, true.
Finally scored right at the end of the game. So yeah, but probably otherwise not too much FPL interest in that one. I don't think any of their players are that high ownership, to be honest.
Palace's fixtures after this one. 4 rough games in a row. Southampton in Game Week 19, and then Chelsea again in Game Week 20. It was not good. So yeah, I think they're probably going to avoid. I was going to mention just maybe Munoz is an under radar pick, and I've just literally looked at the fixtures and thinking, yeah, maybe not.
Yeah. Well, Leicester are going to come in with the new manager bounce with Rude. I'm just pulling up their fixtures. I don't know about how much influence he's going to have, but they've got 3 decent games in the next 4: West Ham at home, Brighton at home, and Wolves at home, and then a away trip to Newcastle. So he's got like a good start there. Do you think? But again, hard to think of anything like to say about their team. Like Vardy has been doing like okay, and maybe he'll be same again under Rude with the new manager bounce in these 3 home games. But I don't really think it's a punt you want to take.
I think that Buonanotte is a decent differential. You can pick him if you want to, like you record. Got a return last week. He's been fairly consistent, other than the few injuries. But yeah, when he has played, he's done pretty well. So I don't mind him as a sort of punt over the next 4. But there is cheaper and good other options out there, aren't there? So probably no need. But I could see Rude got United firing for those 2-3 games, like scored quite a few goals. Could he do that with Leicester over these next 4? Maybe.
I was just having a look down the list. There's only 1 game this season where they've not scored, and that was the away game against United, where obviously Rude was in charge. So, if you pick the right player from their team, and new manager bounce is a thing. You were looking for a cheap striker to replace Isak, maybe. Could be.
He's too old. I don't think I could ever go for Vardy, to be honest. Yeah. I just think he'll just blank 4 times in a row or something, won't he? Yeah. You look at that squad as well. I think that squad is it's rough. I think Rude might struggle, even though these fixtures are good. Like I think the squad is not good.
No, I agree. All right, so that's Tuesday evening. Wednesday we've got Everton Wolves, which I was listening to the Totally Football show today, just trying to catch up, and they were saying like what a dour game that's going to be. I kind of think that Wolves are just so open at the moment, and Everton were against United. I feel like there's going to be goals in that game. I don't think it's going to be like a bit boring 0-0. Do you?
No, I would expect Wolves to score because they've been good. But Everton, not sure, because even Calvert-Lewin got benched eventually, just after blanking for the last 8 weeks in a row or something. And his replacement, Beto, obviously did not much better. So, Wolves to win, hopefully. Clean sheet for Aït-Nouri. That would be nice. But, maybe the McNeil flavour of the month might score or something. But, remember him? Everyone was bigging him up for a while. And he's like I said before, like he's just a flash in the pan. He has bits of form, and he's just then starts to tail off, and you just can't pick a player like that.
No, he's gone nowhere. Just on the Wolves side of things, I think Strand Larsen obviously got the headlines this week, and I just looked at his numbers, and from an attacking point of view, Wolves have been quite good options for Cunha and Strand Larsen, and the fixtures are obviously still good for like the next 4 or 5. West Ham, Ipswich and Leicester after this, which are like some of the teams you want to play. And Strand Larsen 11 points. I was just having a look. He's now returned, was it 4 times in the last 4 games and stretch him back even longer. So yeah, he's not a bad option either, to be honest. If you haven't got the money to stretch to Cunha, who's now like crazy money, 7.1, he's gone up so much.
Yeah, Strand Larsen's only like, what is it, like 12-ish points, 14 points behind Cunha. So
yeah,
not well. Obviously, 14 is a fair chunk, but still, like he's not that far behind, and he is good value at like 5.6. So if you need that cheaper, and if you're not going for Pedro or Evan Nilsson or Delap or something, then Strand Larsen's perfectly fine over the next 5 for sure. I'm sure he will get some returns. So
we could pivot this a little bit by talking about the Newcastle game, which is on the same night, and just come back to City in a minute, because we've talked about 2 strikers there, and you've got Isak, and probably quite a few people have got Isak. It'd be interesting to know if any of the guys watching have got him and what they plan to do with him, because he obviously came off after 22 minutes, hip injury against Palace. You were irritated because you thought it was like a non-injury.
It was nothing. He's just a sore impact, knock. And he could have easily just run that off. Like it just looked like he just completely gave up. He just wasn't interested. It was just, I don't know, just a sore hip, and he just needed his mummy to kiss it better. It was just ridiculous. Like, and the sort of rumors coming out is like he'll be fit to face Liverpool. Like he was fit to play that game, for God's sake. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, absolutely ridiculous that he went off for that game.
Yeah.
Obviously I'm not a doctor, but yeah. Absolutely annoyed me, and obviously this fixture doesn't look good. Newcastle look inconsistent. His fixtures after that are obviously really good, but I'm just maybe a little bit sick of him already, to be honest. And he's maybe the only one cash cow other than Bruno in my team that I could downgrade to get other people. So maybe looking to just get rid of already. But to be honest, he'll probably go and score against Liverpool, and that'll be my tough luck, to be honest.
Yeah,
I'll be asking for that.
Well, Jammer's just said he's keeping Isak. I've just had a look at the last, game weeks 10 to 13. So we've got like a 4 game week block then. And I just had a look at Team XG. So home and away, Newcastle are like the 5th worst team for XG over that period. Only better than Southampton and West Ham. So I'm quite surprised at that when the fixtures they've had at Palace and obviously West Ham, who you and I both had Isak for. Like, understandable that they had Arsenal in there. That might be a tough game, but to also have that Forest away game when they scored 3 goals but have such low XG, I'm quite surprised about that.
Yeah, and obviously Wilson being back is obviously he didn't come off or didn't come on for him because obviously he's just the second game back and he's not really fit yet. But when he is coming on, he's taking Isak's striker spot, and Isak's dropping to like 10 / off the left or whatever, like he did in the past seasons. When they were both playing. And that's just, I've been burned with the Isak owning instead of Wilson many times in FPL. And it just worries me. I wasn't expecting Wilson to be back so soon when I picked Isak on wildcard. And so I'm just looking at, Jackson there performing most weeks and with that run of just insane fixtures. Yeah. And he's just looking juicy as hell.
No, I agree. I think I don't know. I just jumped on him. I think because I think just because the fixtures look good and the recent form was obviously good at that point because he'd returned in 3 games running. But like Newcastle was super underwhelming against West Ham, and even when he went off in that Palace game, the fact that they had like 0.3 team XG against Palace and just like doesn't fill me with confidence. So yeah, he's a lot of money, and I think it was probably a bad decision for me to get back on him at. But hindsight's such an easy thing to say about that.
Yeah. And Gordon not really doing much this season. Obviously, he got an assist this week, but like he's out of form. The peripheral players, Barnes isn't even starting games when he should be. Surely, I think he's their top goal scorer. So yeah, it's they just don't have much depth, and I'm worried about owning him. And I'd probably just go Jackson.
No, I think he's probably pick of the bunch. We talk about Man City Forest, who we just jumped over a moment ago. I think it's difficult to say anything positive about Man City at the moment, which just like didn't think I'd say this season.
No.
Just
another Haaland blank. How many is that?
I know, crazy. Yeah. And the last 4 game weeks, I'm just having a look at team expected goals conceded. they've got the worst in the league, and we knew the big chances were up there. I think they've been surpassed by Villa. No, big chances conceded. Oh, it's not on here, but yes, their expected goals conceded the worst in the league over the last 4 games by quite a distance as well. Like 9.9 expected goals conceded, and the next most is Wolves at 7.8. So yeah, crazy. I didn't really have any players to. They've only scored 2 goals in that time. So yeah, I don't think there's any investment warranted in City at the moment until we see any type of wins. What's Haaland's
Yeah, I agree.
ownership?
Even Gvardiol getting benched because obviously he's had that
Yeah.
big run of bad form, and like, you know, I don't think Pep's usually one to just like take them out after they've been bad. I feel like he just like keeps playing them so they get form again. But he's just been like, nope, screw this guy.
Well, he dropped Edison as well, didn't he? Edison didn't play
Yeah,
against
and
Liverpool.
Ortega was quite good, I thought.
Yeah.
So yeah, that might continue, to be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, assuming they will get back form, if Ortega keeps the spot, then he's going to be a good price. Although I think they priced him at like 5.5, didn't they? Because we've seen that before with. Yeah, he started at 5.5, which is annoying, but you know, it's what it is.
I think that Forest is a good game for them now, though. Like Forest obviously
for City or for Forest.
No, I think for City actually. Well, I think Forest were good for some reason against Liverpool away, and they were all right against Chelsea away. But then when they played Arsenal the week before last, they were just not up to it. And they kind of reverted to last season's type where they weren't defending well and they didn't offer much on the counter. And I kind of think that that's going to be the same game against City. Wood will be benched for them again. And yeah, I think they'll be relying on counters.
Yeah, I can see it being a tight game. I don't think they're going to smash Forest. Yeah, I think Forest are, you know, still good defensively.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll surprise it and keep the streak of being terrible for City going. I think that is a possibility.
They've definitely got the numbers to be decent enough defensively. I just don't know. Anyway, yeah, hard to call that one. I kind of see City winning like 1 or 2-0 in that game and finally getting a win. But I agree with you as well, to be honest.
I mean, Haaland's still predicted the most points for this game week as well.
Really?
So yeah, he's, if you own him, possibly a captaincy shout if you really want to go there. But you know, they're only not in form until they are back in form, and they score. You know, like they scored 3 against Feyenoord in the Champions League. So, and the Haaland came away with 2 goals and plenty of points. So that could happen as well. So.
Yeah. Notice Jammer in the chat says he has Jackson and Cunha. So, you know, I think we're probably getting a flavour, and also from the captaincy poll as well, that like not many people who are watching still have Haaland. Although I should have put an option as other, but yeah. All right, Southampton against Chelsea now. It's probably spoilers for the team reveal, but Palmer captaincy looking stronger than Salah captaincy this game week. We didn't talk about Liverpool yet, actually, did we? Should we jump back and talk about Liverpool quickly, actually? Sorry.
Yeah, could do.
We talked about the Newcastle game from a Newcastle point of view.
Yeah, so I've got Konate stuck in my team. I think it's going to be interesting to know if Gomez starts the next one, if he's going to be the one that's playing instead of Konate for the next sort of 5 to 6 weeks. Because Gomez is what, you think he's like 4.3?
4.8.
4.8. Okay, so that's still pretty good value. And if he's just going to be starting every game 90 minutes, then that should be quite good. But Konza could play a few with the rotation coming, I guess. So I don't know. Yeah, I'd love to go up to Trent or Van Dijk, but I kind of don't want to be without Liverpool defense as well. So I'm looking at like maybe Cucurella, which seems very strange. Our friend George got me onto him, and that does seem like quite a good move for me, especially for this week. And yeah, he seems nailed on. So, but yeah, on Liverpool, like I would like to have someone in there, and Gomez might be a good way to get there. Otherwise it's Bruno / Isak down to be able to afford Trent, which I'm not sure about yet right now. So
I think there's probably not much left to say about Liverpool's attacking, that we've all pretty much like converted to Salah now, and I don't think any of the supporting options are enough, but I need to get back on the defence. And I think a lot of people bailed out when it was the Arsenal game. What game week was that? Like game week 9, definitely a lot of people bailed on Trent at that point. I held him until like 2 game weeks ago, and now I kind of want to reverse that already, because he came back and played 72 minutes, which is nice, because it seems like he's going to get fairly secure minutes because Bradley's out, and he's going to probably get rotate or transferred out early because he's still come back from injury.
Yeah, he had a lot of shots as well. He looked lively as well.
Yeah,
so
and getting the 2 bonus points. I think what I need to get back on Liverpool is, they're going to be the best team, they are the best team defensively in the league from the numbers point of view, and their long-term fixtures from now I think are good. Like Newcastle away is given as a red fixture, but given Newcastle's form, I think they can keep a clean sheet. And then basically all the way until middle of February when they've got Wolves at home, the only tricky game I think is Spurs away, which is probably
possibly United. They could concede in that, but
yeah. But there's a lot of good-looking games there, and that's why I kind of like the security of just having Van Dijk or Trent there. Van Dijk's obviously got the security of minutes because he's not missed one, but Trent's got that. I say that got the big upside. Trent's only got 1 attack in return this season.
I think he's been a bit unlucky. I think they're surely going to start getting a few. He did take corners again. I think they've started to do inverted like in swingers, so he's taking the ones from the left now. I think it is like the Declan Rice style. So yeah, he's still on all that sort of stuff, and he's got routes to points where he'll obviously still be on free kicks and things like that. So I think he probably is worth it over Virgil. But it just depends if he's going to stay match fit over these fixtures. Obviously, with Bradley out, I think there's the chance that he should be fine to play them all. But they could play Konza in the middle. They could play Gomez on the right back just for a rotation evening if they had to. So he's not fully rotation free, whereas Virgil probably is.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he might concede late, and that could be worrying games as well. So. Yeah, I like Trent if you can get there.
Yeah, same.
Have you gone there?
I think I probably will. So I mean, we'll talk about that I suppose a little bit more in a minute. But yeah, I think I kind of like the idea of having Trent because with
what's his ownership now?
It's low. I think it's less than 20. It's 19.2. I think because I've got the money from no Haaland, and I don't have any expensive attackers at the moment. And I think I've got all the key premium midfielders, and like Bruno and Foden I'm not that interested in. So I think it makes sense that I can juicify my defence a little bit, which I think's fine. I think Gabriel's a good pick, obviously, because he's got goal threat. And I think Trent will be a fine long-term pick, and why not try and get on him before a lot of people do, because I think the fixtures are there. So yeah, I don't mind that at all. All right, who else have we got? We've got. It makes me want to sign up to Prime Video. Like this, advertising works, doesn't it? I'm like, I can watch all these games on Prime. Right, we'll go.
So Chelsea, Southampton, I guess.
Yeah, Chelsea, Southampton.
So yeah, I'm looking at possibly Jackson. He's only like 8 points behind Haaland in the. He's been consistent across the season, pretty much returning basically every other game. Got one game when he had 3 returns. He's had 2 returns like in a game 3 times so far. So yeah, he seems good value at, just gone over 8 million now. And that fixture run, as we talked about, is just so good that like they've got Spurs away, which isn't a bad fixture for attacking. And then Man City in 23, which is so far away he could get injured or whatever by then. But in between there, Brentford, Everton, Fulham, Ipswich, Palace, Bournemouth, Wolves, that's so good. And obviously Southampton away this week. They've got Harwood Bellis suspended. I think there's someone else who's suspended. I think that obviously their keeper is. Yeah, the keeper is out still. They've got their 3rd string keeper. So Chelsea are scoring goals, and it feels like it should be a really good one. Like I bet against Southampton defensively for the past 3 weeks, and I've not come out very well. And I'm looking to possibly add Cucurella to that. So. I might be burnt 3 times, but we'll see. But I just like the triple up because there is so many good fixtures there, and they've got so many players that they can just rotate on in those Europa League games and keep the Premier League team fresh. So I'm excited to just get on them at the moment. They seem like a team that's on the up and up and growing in confidence, and so what's not to like?
Yeah, and also it's obviously a good captaincy game, but Palmer is leading our poll at the moment for the armband, but I'm not really sure even despite him doing well for me this weekend, I look at the numbers for last 4 game weeks. I've just got them up now, and the disparity between him and Salah for points is scary. It was scary to back against him, even against Man City. I mean, you look. I mean, Palmer's had one big chance in the last 4 game weeks. To Salah's had 9. He's got like more than double the XG, which will be from the penalties, and even the big chances created. That Palmer's only had 1 to Salah's 2. So I still think it's like a bit of a risk in not going Salah, even against like a bad Newcastle team. And the only reason I'm kind of doing it is because St James's Park is a difficult place to go. But I mean, Liverpool and Salah are so good at the minute. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets another double-digit haul again. And yeah, I just think it's probably not on paper not as clear cut, maybe, or even statistically not as clear cut. Don't know.
Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think it could go down to the wire on that one, honestly. Yeah, I don't mind Salah at all, honestly, this week. It's a good fixture. Like, as long as it's not red, not really. Yeah. It's probably greenish grey.
Yeah. Wonder how many goals Liverpool are, because I mean, last game at Newcastle, like, it was kind of shocking that they lost against West Ham and didn't score. But I'm just going to see if there's any like how many goals they are conceding at home. Well, they won against Arsenal and kept a clean sheet before that, and then they lost against Brighton, so 1-0. So they've only conceded more than 1 goal twice. Only conceded more than 1 goal once at home this season. Twice.
Okay. And also, Palmer has only returned away from home. Like, he's blanked more than he's returned. He got that one, obviously, Wolves away. He got that 17-pointer.
Yeah.
But then apart from that, he's had 1 8-pointer, and the rest have all been blanks. So, yeah, not great in terms of him going away from home. He's returning at home all the time, but away from home, not so great. So yeah, maybe Salah.
Yeah, this is making me come around to
safer.
Making me come around to Salah captaincy a bit.
Because Salah doesn't really have a bias to away or home, does he?
No.
Yeah, he's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 double-digit away returns. He's only had. I don't think he's actually blanked. Hold on. Oh, he's a 1 blank, which is away against Palace in Game Week 7, where he got 3 points.
I'd be interested to hear from people watching why they're backing their particular captain, because my auto pick was on Palmer straight away, just because Southampton and Salah did well against Southampton. But I think Palmer was, it was a worldie to score, and the pass was alright. But I don't know. I think backing against Salah at the moment is difficult.
In my opinion, he was pretty peripheral for pretty much the whole game, Palmer, until that point. Obviously, he got that assist, but that was kind of just a ball across the box, or just a normal pass, and then they made it into a goal. But yeah, as Jammer says, it is Southampton, so we'll see.
Which team is like the worst? I'm just seeing which team is the worst at home. Southampton are comfortably worse at home, 14.4 expected goals conceded so far this season, whereas Newcastle are up near the top, 6.9. So
okay, yeah, interesting.
Yeah, but then it was Southampton for like João Pedro, and they did quite well, and they even did not too bad against Liverpool to score 2 goals at home, and Liverpool had to come from behind, didn't they?
Yeah, and like it was Leicester in Game Week 12 for Palmer away, and he's got 2 points. He got
true.
Yeah, 2 points. Oh, well, he got 8 points against West Ham, but Bournemouth away in Game Week 4 got 3 points. So
he's had games of not tearing it up.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm kind of leaning back towards Salah based on that, which is interesting.
But at the same time, like you said, the worst defense for Southampton is there. So he's if they're going to score goals, he probably will be involved.
Yeah. All right. Let's just Arsenal against Man United. How do you see this one going? I suppose from a FPL point of view, we're all pretty locked into Arsenal assets, I think, because Saka's going up.
Yeah.
Gabriel's gone up. I think Gabriel's going to be fine, to be honest.
Yeah, should be. To be honest, I can only see an Arsenal win, but I think United have looked better. Maybe the 4-0 win over Everton is flattering because it's Everton. But Ahmad's looked pretty good. Garnacho's looked all right. Rashford actually getting 2 returns is more than he's done in as long as I can remember.
I wanted it last week. I said, can he be an option, and he might be.
I didn't see it, to be honest. I was thinking Højlund should start, and I didn't see Rashford as a striker, but I guess Amarin does. So, but yeah, I don't necessarily see a clean sheet for Arsenal here, particularly. So, I mean, I'd still have Bruno, and I don't know about him this week. I would like to sell him, but I kind of have a bit of FOMO with him of getting rid of him. So maybe him out. But at the same time, there isn't that many great replacements in midfield at the moment. Just because those three premiums are there, then there's like who else? Because Mbeumo's not particularly great at the moment. There's Johnson's a little bit meh, and then there isn't really much else going on in midfield right now. So yeah.
Yeah,
what do you think?
I think you're right. I think after Bruno, there's like a big drop off. I quite like Brennan Johnson, to be honest, just because even though he doesn't seem that exciting, he has been quite consistent so far this season.
I don't think I'd want to go there personally, but yeah.
I know you don't fancy him, but yeah, I think he's been good. Spurs haven't been, but consistent. It happened again, didn't it? I just can't believe they went from beating Man City and then they dropped points in the last minute, and then Johnson. Yeah. All right. Sorry. The only thing I wanted to say about the Arsenal Man United game that I thought about is that Dalot at left wing back is going to be like up against it against Saka, isn't he? That's going to be such a mismatch. And I mean, I didn't watch the whole game.
And Odegaard in that area as well. Like
that's going to be crazy. I didn't watch the whole game, but apparently Everton have chances. I think United have more.
Yeah. I think Martinez has got banned as well, and Mainoo's got banned, so they're both suspended for this game. Those are two big pieces missing. So I guess Evans is going to start, and maybe Yore's ready to start, but I wouldn't want to chuck him in against Arsenal. So Evans, 38 or whatever he is, he's going to start against Saka on that side. Not fun. No. Yeah, so I could see Arsenal probably they could do a West Ham, go like 3-4 up, and then United could probably score a couple possibly. But other than that, I see Arsenal winning, especially at home. Yeah.
No, I agree.
What do you think about Havertz as an option?
Yeah,
because he's obviously come back in. I think that game he missed was probably just a rest because he played all the games. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't think many people are like thinking about him as a replacement or as an option as a striker or replacement. And he's like 7.9 is a pretty good price. He's pretty much going to play 90 minutes, and the fixtures are really good for Arsenal as well. So yeah, I don't think it's not a bad shout at all, to be honest. So yeah, quite like Havertz, probably similar to Jackson. So
yeah, that would be the move. It would be Isak down to Havertz / Jackson. It's like, which one do you go for? Like the fixtures are probably roughly about the same in terms of like difficulty. Both teams scoring lots of goals. So I don't know, really. Havertz more blanks in him, isn't he? Like the last since game week 8, 2-2, 1-1, 0-6. Like it's not great form. No. So I don't know if he does have holes in him in like big games, but they seem to be far less consistent than Jackson right now. So I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah,
between those two, because I'm looking to get possibly someone this week, so it's between those two.
They're similar, aren't they, in price? There's been so many transfers in for Jackson. I don't know. I feel like it's hard to don't know, choose between the two because neither of them are on penalties. They're like neither of them have got like a quirk about them. Do you know what I mean? They're both basically relying on open play. Chances. I suppose Havertz probably slightly more reliable for minutes, maybe, because I don't think Jesus is as good as Nkunku, but it's going to be Christmas. I think that's such a I mean, look at all these 90 minutes. He's basically played every game apart from that Forest one after international break.
Yeah,
and he was, he's been fairly decent as well, but he's obviously not returned as well as Jackson. I think it's close. Oscar's said in the chat.
Probably need to look at the stats with them. What have they been? Do you know?
I haven't got it up in front of me, to be honest. No, I'm sorry. I'm just refreshing the page. But I think over the course of the season, Jackson has obviously returned more and got more points. I've stupidly just zoomed this in way too much just for to look at the fixtures.
Just across the season, I've found it now. Like Jackson 14 big chances compared to Havertz 11. Jackson has had 31 shots. Havertz is at 30. Goals 7 versus 8. Expected goal involvement is 7 versus 6.7. Key pass is 14 for Jackson, 9 for Havertz. Big chances created is 4 for Jackson, 1 for Havertz. XA is in favor of Havertz somehow here, even though the big chances created are in favor of Jackson. So yeah, not much in it, but Jackson does seem to win on pretty much all of those. So
and also, I said the actual outcome is way in Jackson's favour as well. Like he's 26 points ahead off the back of that. So
Havertz not in the top 10 for forwards for points, I don't think so.
In that case, I'd probably go with Jackson on that answer. Yeah, he's second most transferred in this week. Oscar in chat said, "Can we have a look at the numbers on Saka?" So by the way, we're like hub members, which is why I'm showing this on screen. I think the link is in the description. Affiliates. Yeah, sorry. So Saka's numbers aren't like great even after his huge haul. So his XG in the last 4 games 0.63. I mean, that's tiny. Like Saka's is like over. Salah's is like over 4 times that.
But his assist potential is massive.
His 1.8 for expected assists in the last 4. Salah's is 1. So
yeah, which is top of the whole table. 0.8 pretty much ahead of Salah is huge.
Yeah, true. So yeah, assists. I think Saka will definitely return in this game against United. I think it will be quite an open game.
Yeah, United's what they got the best most clean sheets now, tied with Liverpool. I think it is.
They do, yeah.
So yeah, obviously the defense has been decent in terms of clean sheets, but they do look fragile still.
Absolutely.
To me, anyway. So I don't think you should be unconvinced to not go Saka there. No. I think he's a good option still. He's probably like fourth best. I'd say Salah, Palmer, maybe Haaland, then Saka.
No, I agree with that. Yeah, bit further down this week. All right, last 2 games. Oh no, last 3 games. So Aston Villa, Brentford. I bet you're pleased you kept Wissa. I think he's fine to keep for this game because Villa seem to suck at the minute.
Yeah, I had no intention to keep him from now onwards, Wissa. But Villa's defense has been bad, so I'm pretty much stuck with him, I think, for the time being. And he is returning, unlike Mbromo. So, there's that.
And I think Villa just seem like a bit of a spiral at the moment. Their form's bad. But I think if you've got Rodgers, you obviously hold and play him this week, and the same for Watkins. But because they've got Southampton at home after this. But yeah, it's a tough period for Villa at the minute.
I'm not even sure about playing
Rodgers
this week. I wish I had someone else like I don't even know who actually, but like Ahmad coming up would be nice. Obviously not this week, but yeah, I'm going to play him this week. But I'm not confident in the Rodgers return, honestly.
No, I can see that, and perhaps next week we'll talk about Mbeumo replacements, because I still think with Villa's defence he's a hold this week, even after another one of his 0.0 games. But I think there isn't any better options immediately this week. Maybe Bowen, but doesn't excite me too much. Bowen.
Yeah, no, same. I've never really picked Bowen in fantasy. Like, even though he does well, I never really seem to go there. And it's just something about it I just don't really trust. I'm not sure what it is. But the fixtures are good, so I think Bowen is a decent replacement. But like I think you said in our chat earlier, like Leicester first game for Rude could be a difficult one for West Ham.
Yeah, I agree. QNTV's John Chet said, great week. He's had 102 points and he's up to 23k. He's brushing shoulders with you there.
Yeah.
Bloody
have a bad week this week, please. So I can pass you.
I don't know who he captained. That's great.
Saka probably.
Yeah, nice. All right, the last day of the game week. I'm pleased I've got players in every night, I think, which makes it fun. We got Fulham against Brighton. I suppose you and I are both hoping Pedro does well. I think from his numbers, they did poor as well at home against Ipswich. So maybe you can put it down to they can't kill Ipswich and Southampton at home, but they'll do better in the tougher games. So that's the theory.
Yep.
Yeah, QNT did captain Saka, nice.
Yeah, he wasn't even that involved in that game, which is a bit of a worry. So I don't know. I think he's just a hold for now. Just they've got good fixtures. He should be
Yeah.
playing most games, but he does look like he's going to be eased back in with minutes still. So yeah, he's certainly not captain potential anytime soon, but he's good value at his price, and he enables the premium mids, and yeah, hopefully he can get something this week. That's about it.
And then Bournemouth against Spurs, the last game of the game week. I think this is going to be a really open game.
I think Bournemouth win.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Bournemouth just looked really good against Wolves, even though most of it was penalties. I think Evan Nilsson looks like he's coming into his own as their like focal point now. And yeah, you never know what you're going to get from Spurs. I expect they'll be open as well. They're like makeshift 2 at the back, Forster in goal. And is Porro going to be out? Do we know? I don't know if I've heard about.
Oh, I don't know.
Because then you get injured.
I'm not sure, honestly. I was just on Semenyo. Like, obviously, people have him, and you're probably going to play him this week.
Oh, baby, yeah.
After 3 penalties, we assumed he was probably on penalties, right? If Evan Nilsson missed his first one, and he's not had one since, and so we assumed Semenyo was next in line. And obviously, he missed that game when they got 3 penalties, and Kluivert obviously dispatched them all. So Kluivert's surely going to stay on penalties.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of a shame for Semenyo, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so. But I think I'd heard anyway, like in pre-season, Kluivert had taken some, and when they'd both been on the pitch. So I kind of thought that was the case anyway, and I think it was more just hope that he might be. But you know, he could still be. But despite that, I think he's still like a fine pick for like this and other games. But it was a bit disappointing in a way to see them score 4 goals and look like really attacking, and him not be like able to be involved in that game, because he's been disappointing since I bought him, like 2 and a 1, and then I wasn't going to play him against Wolves, but in a way that shielded me because they did so well. But they've still got the really good fixtures coming up, and I want to hold him for that. All right, should we share our teams? I don't think there's too much more to say on Spurs. We talked about Johnson a little bit, but we're going to maybe do another quick fire show at the end of this week, so because there's a game week again on Saturday, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it is.
12:30.
Saturday, yeah.
So we've only basically got Friday night possibly to do something.
All
right, let's look at our teams quickly. I'll do mine first. So I had 2 free transfers heading into this game week. I've already used one, so I thought Isak was just going to be out, and I don't really know why I didn't look it up. On Saturday night, I just did Isak to Pedro, just because I'd had enough, and last time I had enough, it worked out. So let's see if that works out again. And then I've got so much moolah in the bank, I can do any one of the defenders, including the 4.0 guys up to Trent. So I think if I get a leak on or tomorrow of the Ipswich team and Greaves isn't in the first 11, that makes me think he's done something to be dropped, and he's in bad trouble. So then I'll transfer him out for Trent, because at least I know Bednarak, when he comes back later this month, his first choice centre back, and they need him back, even though he's just bench fodder. And then I'm going to play Dean for like a -1 at home against Brentford. He'll probably come on and score an own goal. Playing Fabianski over Flecken away against Leicester. Just because I think that seems like more likely that Leicester don't score lots of goals. And even though like in the show we've been talking about captaincy, and I was on Palmer, now I'm kind of thinking maybe Salah is more reliable. Semenyo's playing, Pedro's playing, Cunha. I think the team pretty much picks itself, and yeah, let's just see how we go with that.
Wood against City seems kind of interesting, but you think he might be benched again, don't you?
Yeah, I think he might be benched, and I think just Semenyo at home just seems like a better option than Wood this week.
Yeah, Trent in sounds good too.
For Greaves, yeah, I think the team looks alright after that.
Yeah, it's captaincy between those two come down to the wire, I guess.
Yeah, and then I think in future weeks I'll probably roll the next week, and the next transfer will probably be in Buemo when they start getting that decent or that crappy fixture run. And maybe upgrade goalkeeper or Dean to a second Arsenal defender. But I'm quite I think a lot of people have been selling Wood, but like I'm quite happy to hold him for a bit longer. Like he's been good at home this season, and their fixtures at home aren't too bad. Like Villa at home is their game in 2 game weeks time, and Villa have been trash, and I kind of expect him to score there. So yeah, happy to hold Wood. Milivenkovic plays 90 minutes, so he can just sit on the bench for Christmas. So yeah, all right, really at the minute. We're moving on up.
Good team. Yep.
Here we go. Here's your team. You've got so much contrast in that picture. Whoa.
What do you mean?
I don't know. The grass is really green compared to mine. Look at that. You got a new phone?
Must just be the brightness turned up when I took the picture.
God,
so,
pumping it.
Yeah, so yeah, as I said, the team doesn't look great on paper this week. With Mazraoui, and Gabriel and Bruno and Saka facing each other. Um, so, and I've got Isak benched, Hall benched, Kanate an issue. So, yeah, I think QNTV has given me an interesting
I was just
thing that I
reading the
might
image.
be looking at in the chat of like Bruno and Isak down to Jackson, maybe Bowen, and then I might have enough money in the bank to do Kanate to Trent then for -4. It could be interesting.
That's quite nice.
And that would kind of sort of solve the the Bruno against the Arsenal and all that stuff. And Kanate, Trent would play instead of Mazraoui. I benched Mazraoui and Hall, and yeah, I guess I probably need someone. I'd probably bench Rogers then maybe out of those. So yeah, I'd be tempted by that. I was also possibly looking as well at Isak to Jackson and someone, probably Kanate to Cucurella. I quite like that as just 2 free transfers.
Yeah.
I think Cucurella is going under the radar and yeah, was very far forward. Got the assist, came away with, I think it was 11 points in the last game. So yeah, he's very low and good differential. And yeah, the fixtures are still there for Chelsea. Like they can keep clean sheets as we've seen now. So yeah, I don't mind that either.
Yeah,
but yeah, there is options, but at the same time, the midfield options down from Bruno, if I don't go Bowen,
you're going to have to go really cheap.
Is not great. So I don't know.
Apart from Johnson.
Yeah, I mean, there's Kudus as well, but are we sure he's definitely going to get straight back in after that big ban?
No, I don't know.
I don't know, because I think Somerville has been quite good. So are they definitely going to bring him straight back in? I don't know.
And what I heard was Lopetegui had like 2 games to save his job, which was the West Ham game and this Arsenal game, and he's obviously had the stay of execution, but I feel like he's just walking a tightrope until when he's going to get sacked next. I won't be surprised if they lose against Leicester, and then the game at the weekend I think is Wolves against West Ham, so he's going to basically play his old club. So yeah, I'm a bit like unsure about West Ham.
As much as the Leicester game could be good for their attack with Rude, but I don't think their defense is going to get any better. So I think West Ham's chances for goals are still there.
Yeah, true. I hope that. Oh yeah, you're playing for Bruggen over Fabianski.
Yeah, I haven't decided about that honestly yet. I think it was just price point. I just put for Bruggen in. So yeah, that's one to decide about as well.
Okay, all right. Well, I think we probably wrap it up now.
Yep.
But I hope that's enough of a fill before. We still managed to talk for like 50 minutes.
Yeah, I don't know how we did that.
I quite like just talking through
no
the
notes
fixtures
at all.
like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining us and the comments in the chat. We'll be back. We'll post up on YouTube and do a little schedule when we're going to go live, but maybe be Friday evening. Can't imagine we'll do Saturday morning, but there'll be hopefully be a stream before Game Week 15. Blimey.
Yes. Nice.
Cool. Right. Good luck everyone with those armband options and choosings.